Welcome to Speaker Skills Plus. If you're watching this on video, this is my regular Speaker Skills Plus group, and they are amazing. And I want to help you grow your speaker skills if you are excited about doing that. And if you own a business, you're a public speaker. If you're an entrepreneur, you're a public speaker. If you're a public speaker, guess what? You're a public speaker. And you might notice already that I like to have a little bit of fun, and this group does too. Speaker Skills Plus came to me in a dream. Well, maybe a daydream. I was thinking about, how do I create an environment of inevitable success? Because I think most of us know that environment is stronger than will. I certainly know that when chocolate chip cookies talk to me and they draw me in with their spell, like I'm Ulysses and there's sirens on the walk. Am I saying that right? Ulysses and the sirens? Yeah, okay, good. Chris, the chocolate chip cookie says, we are meant to be one, and we do become one. So I don't invite chocolate chip cookies normally into my environment. But about speaking skills, I'm a professional speaker and trainer. I wanted to keep growing my skills, and I'm very much a work in progress. But I wanted to create a playful environment of inevitable success, a playful environment of inevitable success that would take me and anyone that joins me on this journey to improving our speaking skills so we became wow speakers. So people were attracted to us, sell our products easier, services more easier, get our message across to the world so they'd hear what we had to say. This is the amazing group I get to play with on a regular basis. And let's just go around the group and say, does anyone want to share what Speaker Skills Plus means to them?
I'll go.
Okay, Patricia.
Speaker Skills Plus and Chris Nielsen have been one of the most significant parts of my life for the past couple of years, especially this last year. And I credit Chris with really helping me open my heart and find the funny girl in me, because I knew she was there around family and friends that I could feel comfortable with, but now he's bringing me out. And it's really a wonderful experience to have that kind of integrity with myself. So I highly encourage you to check us out.
Thank you, Patricia.
Yeah.
Who's next? Let's go, Pamela, and then Annie.
Speaker Skills Plus is like my daily cup of love. I can't live without it. I have to have it. And Chris has created an environment that is like a sandbox, a play yard to help people who want to speak more, to practice, to grow, to be more creative, and to learn a lot of different techniques that help us make our speeches more inviting to our audience, more able to bring them in, to attract them, and to create an experience where they can grow and where they get super engaged. So that's what it's meant to me.
Thank you, Pamela. Annie.
Speaker Skills Plus has been my lifeline. I was way out of the speaking game for a long time, and Chris was my coach when I was active in Toastmasters and a Fearless Speaker Group. And he would not let me fall. He just kept inviting me, just kept coming and asking me to participate. And when he formed Speaker Skills Plus, I jumped at it. And I'm learning the new techniques and I love it. And the games that we play here, I'm playing them with my grandkids. And also the storytelling aspect of this group is really wonderful.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you so much. Jackie.
I knew I wanted to speak, but I was really reticent to do it. And after being in Speaker Skills Plus, with all the techniques that I've learned, I can jump into giving a whole speech with hardly any preparation because I speak every day in Speaker Skills Plus. And because of the fun games that we do, I'm able to bring funny and humorous parts of myself to those speeches. And I'm able to enjoy the speaking, not just the moment after I am done speaking. And that is worth everything. Chris is really good at bringing the humor out, which, as we talk about sometimes, funny is money. So if you want to be more funny and you want to be more confident, Speaker Skills Plus is where you want to be.
Thank you, Jackie. Vanessa.
Hey, so I'm Vanessa, and one of the things that I love about Speaker Skills Plus is the camaraderie in the group. It's sort of a microcosm where we get to test boundaries, not other people's boundaries, but our own. We get to, we're pushed a little bit and encouraged to go past our own comfort zone, telling stories, metaphors, learning to play with humor in our talks. And I have found this to be an incredibly safe environment to play in. Chris is a phenomenal coach and a really, really dynamic speaker. And he brings out the best in each one of us on the daily. So if you're thinking about joining a speaker group and want an incredible community of really awesome, heart-centered folks who are in integrity with themselves and their work in the world, this is an incredible place to be.
Thank you, Vanessa. And I have to say about this group, it is an honor to play with you on a regular basis. It's an honor, and that's the kind of, these are the kind of people I'd love to have join me in this and join all of us. If you feel a calling to grow your speaking skills, because if you know you improve your communication skills just 10%, what could that be worth to you? And I believe playing in Speaker Skills Plus, a playful environment of inevitable success, you will grow your speaking skills at least 10% in even just 3 months. And what will that mean to you long term? So come play with us, and I'll play along in this recorded webinar or training series and decide if these games would improve what you do, or take even these games just for yourself and a partner and improve your own storytelling, your own mystery creating, your own mesmerizing skills to pull an audience in. And one of the first games we're going to play, so if you're at home, think about this. How do you create a mystery? And we're going to create some mysteries. And some of the simple ways to create a mystery, those things that hook you in at the beginning of a book or a movie, or right before it goes to the next episode on Netflix, that makes you want to watch the next one, become a master of mystery. And one of the great ways to create a mystery is tell a secret, offer confession, say it's something vulnerable I wish to share, something really emotional that you have to share. Oh my gosh, when they did this, I was so excited. Or this is the one thing that made me a better speaker. Or as I shared earlier today, the one fear, modern fear, that underlies almost all fears, especially speaking fears. The first game we're going to play is mystery. So who wants to create a brief mystery for this group? And I created multiple mysteries there. Yes, Jackie.
I looked down the hallway at him and his tail was down. I can always tell when his tail is down, that means he's either tired or scared or there's something wrong. And then I saw his head was kind of down. And then I realized he had puked. And I said, it's okay, buddy. He had been eating grass. It's okay, buddy, because he felt bad.
It's okay, buddy. And that's an example of a mystery. So think about something, and especially even stop group and see if we want, so how bad we want to know what the rest of the mystery is. All right, who's next with their mystery?
Okay.
Pamela and then Patricia.
Doorbell rang. I went to the door and looked out my peephole. Nobody was out there, but I spied a box. That's weird. I wasn't expecting anything. I opened the door. It was big. As I reached down for it, it was heavy. Oh my gosh, what could this be? It also said perishable. Now I'm really wondering who sent something to me like this?
All right, Patricia.
Gosh, what was that smell? Oh, it smelled funny. And then I looked and I saw this smoke coming underneath my front door. But then I saw an envelope slid right under the door. And I opened it and it said, "The jig is up." And I opened the door and I looked down and I could not believe what I saw.
I love that. And we're going to hold that for later too, because sometimes this group, and this is not normal with this group will ask 20 questions about what was actually the mystery. So who else has a mystery for this group? Annie.
As I walked out the door, I noticed it was almost sunset which way did I want to go? And what would I see on my beautiful walk? I decided to go in the direction I don't usually go. And I found a road that I'd never seen the end of before. And I decided to walk that way because it was leading toward the beautiful sight of a sunset. I could see it down at the end of the road. And I got almost to the end of the dead end, and I saw this 2-track that went off to the right. Is this a new road? Really? It said there was no outlet. So I decided to follow the 2-track. It turned out to be someone's very long driveway. But when I got to the end of the driveway, I could not believe it. My curiosity was definitely rewarded because I saw 7 of them off in front of the woods. I've never seen that many before.
The next thing I want to jump to is something we do a lot is magical metaphors, amazing analogies, is come up with things that make things more concrete. So as we play with metaphors and mysteries, who has a metaphor or mystery they'd like to share with us? And I'll share one about Speaker Skills Plus first. Most learning to become a better speaker is like pushing a boulder uphill. And if you pause for a second, that boulder rolls right over you. And you're back at the bottom of the hill, attempting to push that boulder up. Speaker Skills Plus, I see more in this way. This playful environment of inevitable success is like jumping on a sled and sliding down the hill towards greater speaking success. So there's an example. Who else would like to share a metaphor? Yes, Annie.
When you jump on that sled and ride it down to the bottom of the hill in Speakers Plus, you gotta watch out for the occasional tree in the path.
Don't hit the trees. Yes, Pamela.
There are times when I feel like I'm not getting anything done, and it's as if I'm standing in a pool of hardened cement.
Ooh. Vanessa.
Entrepreneurship is like getting a bikini wax. It's excruciatingly liberating.
And that's a great example of how metaphors and analogies can lead to humor, especially when they're a surprise ending. Because I think people, we're going to think it's filled with a lot of pain, but incredibly liberating. I've never had one, so maybe I should think about doing that. Jackie says no. Vanessa says no to that too. I often have bad ideas. And I'll share this with Pamela, and then I'll share this first though. One of the mottos of this group is be bad or be willing to be bad so you can be good. Because if you're not willing to be bad, you will never be great. If you're at home, keep coming up with your metaphors or analogies that work for your speaking to make things more concrete. Let's jump actually to one of my favorite games that we've done lately. This particular game, it leads to some oftentimes failures, but I want us to be willing to fail. And I like this idea. You can create a mystery like this. 2 distinct words and how you uniquely hook them together. So we're just going to play with this briefly. So who has 1 or 2 words for us to play in this area?
Okay,
All right.
kisses and blooms.
So kisses and blooms, how do you relate that together? A bloom is like a visual kiss.
My
Okay.
favorite bloom is a rose which feels and looks like a kiss to me.
Lovely. Who's next?
When my lover kisses me, it feels as if my heart expands like a flower blooming.
Beautiful. And look, I want to, if you're watching this, go, oh my gosh, this is way too difficult a game to play. It was harder for all of us to play it, but we played it for a while. Don't worry if you say something totally crazy that doesn't work. I wanted to talk about this a little bit. You can be your own speaker. And so let's talk a little bit about heart speaking. You know, when you hear someone speaking from their head, like I've actually done a lot of speaking from my head, even on this call. But I don't know if you can feel the subtle difference in me now. I'm feeling from my heart, and I hope you can feel it. And I want the right people to say yes to this, people that I want to play with. that I want to support. And I typically love speakers, most speakers, because there might be a mystery there too. They have something they want to share with the world. They want to move the world in positive directions. They want to send positive ripples into the world. So anyone else want to play with heart speaking, and how do you tap into it? One of the ways I tap into it is simply drop the thoughts, feel more from my heart. What would my heart say to another human being?
I feel so much gratitude for this group, for you, Chris, and for everyone here. You've made such a difference in my life. And I know that it's going to really help me speak from the heart and to inspire other people with this idea of moving into one's heart when we speak. So my heart is filled with gratitude for all of you.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you so much. Is there anyone else that would like to share from their heart?
Honestly, something switches when from before I'm on stage to when I'm actually on stage or on camera or whatever it is. And I go into a different mode. Before I'm on camera, I'm a little bit more in fear. It's excitement, but it's still a little bit of fear. And literally there's a switch that turns on, which would be like, I guess my heart switch sort of automatically turns on. And I get really present. I feel the physical connection with, if you're talking about chakras, I feel that physical connection from like second to fifth really, really clearly. So I feel really anchored in my body. I feel anchored in the moment.
The connecting to the heart feels good. It feels good for me because I'm so much spinning in my head. When I'm present, speaking feels amazing. That's when I went from fear. That was the big switch for me as a fearful speaker to one that has a ton of fun becoming present.
When I am speaking from my heart, and it's usually if I have something really that I feel is really important to say and share. And when I feel that way, I'm very present, and I'm not in the present, the past or the future. I am just expressing that feeling and that thought. And I usually speak more slowly because I haven't memorized anything. So I take the time to express it. And I think it lands more deeply.
Thank you, Annie. Pamela.
How I get into my more vulnerable heart space is by imagining that I'm in that setting again, almost like transporting back in time, visualizing it. And for me, that seems to elicit the emotion very readily.
I love that, Pamela. And that's a lot of what I use as well, as go back into that and be fully in that memory and feel what it felt like then. So you're reliving it versus retelling it. Jackie.
For me, I feel like there are two things. One is authenticity, being absolutely myself. And the other is not trying to memorize my speech.
Yes.
And I feel like so many people do that. Oh, I have to have it memorized. And when I have done that, and I know there's a certain word I need to put in a certain moment, instead of being present and in it and loving it, my brain is thinking, what's that word? What's that word? Don't forget that word. And I lose this connection with the audience.
I'm just going to share really quickly. I did a video for something I'm working on, and I practiced 120 times, because what happened is I created a script, and I got so paranoid and uptight about the script. It took me 120 takes, never got it. I threw every single one of those videos out. About a week later, I sat down and knocked it out in one shot. It's a 5-minute video about a new project I was introducing. So I'm just saying that if you can just know your material and you're coming from that heart and presence, it's so much easier. And trying to memorize screwed me up so bad I couldn't even do it.
The game I want to play right now is actually sensory storytelling. And we're going to do I know this group can get into long versions of it, but I want to keep your short version of sensory storytelling. So go on a sensory walk, a sensory cook, a sensory experience you've had. Who would like to share a sensory experience in their life? Fairly brief.
I'll make it a short one.
Yeah.
I woke up and I felt something next to my skin on my back. It was fuzzy. I opened one eye and I put my hand over and I felt something warm and wet. And then I rolled over and was face to face with him. He was small. He was golden. He was my mini golden doodle puppy Tyrion, and he was the best cuddling buddy ever, giving mommy kisses on her hand and spreading joy and happiness right when I woke up.
One of my favorite games, and actually it seems like in almost every group's favorite game, and Pamela renamed it for this group. Instead of dictionary,
Tyrion wants to play. Tyrion
and now
wants to play.
now it's called Dactionary, and we'll go through it a couple times. The Dactionary game is basically played like this. You come up with a word, you make up a word, you go with, then the second person gives the definition of that word, and the third person uses it in a sentence. And it just helps expand your mind. So what's your word, Vanessa?
The word is crow 4.
Crow 4. And Vanessa even put it in the chat. Crow 4.
So I'm coming up with the meaning.
Yep, you're the meaning giver here, Jackie.
Crow 4 is a French word. When they first started coming out with croissants, people thought, oh, this is so good, but I wish that I could get a pack of these to take back to my family. So bakeries decided to start putting out crow 4s, 4 of them that you could take back to your family.
My daughter loves chocolate croissants so much that one is not enough. So I always have to buy a crow 4 and bring it home for her.
That's an idea of the game, and there's many variations we could play. So the Pixar story formula is something we're going to play with. And who wants to start our story? Who wants to be the Once Upon a Time? So start us off, Jackie, and then I'll clue you in. So it's Jackie, Pamela, Patricia, Bobby, Annie, Vanessa, and then me. Okay. All right.
Once upon a time, there was a tasty little crouton. He was formed in a factory, and he was so excited when he got put in a bag to go to his forever home.
Every day he was jumbling around in his package thinking, when will I get to my new home? I hope they're nice people and they take good care of me.
But one day, as he was jumbling around in his bag and bumping into the other croutons, he heard a noise coming into the pantry. And then before you knew it, the bag was ripped open.
And because of that, all of the croutons, each of the different flavors, sizes, colors, and shapes found themselves sprinkled on top of the salad. And because of that, they suddenly felt like they might actually be in danger.
Annie, you can either do it because of that or until
Okay.
finally.
Because of that, this little crouton tried to like edge his way over to the edge of the salad bowl because he wanted to live.
Vanessa.
Until finally 3 other croutons joined him, making a crew 4. And they banded together.
Oh my
They,
God.
they licked each other's sides, stuck together, and this crew 4 dove over the bowl and onto the floor.
And ever since then, baby croutons and other croutons have heard this story go on, and they decided to band together and form crew 4s because they know 4 together is more powerful than 1.
Wow.
One of my favorite speakers in the world, and you've seen this before. I want to add this too. I just brought up my spirit speaking animal, which is the kitten. And part of this is to be playful. And really, what I needed to, I tried to work at this, and that didn't work for me.
Yeah.
So I decided to play at this and found that that worked for me. And you're right about Michael McIntyre's video. The first one, I loved it. I was in love with his first version, but he kept working on it, and it did get better and better and more interesting and longer. He stretched it out. Any final thoughts on that video, or final thoughts on getting someone to join us and play with it, Speaker Skills Plus, as we wrap it up for the day?
I would just say, if you are interested, or for anyone who's interested in moving out of your comfort zone in a safe way, and, in a comfortable way, this is definitely the place to try out material, try out places that you wanted to go in terms of storytelling, and daring to suck. It's a great place to dare to suck. No one will hate you for it. In fact, we celebrate you. So it's a good place to get into the practice of speaking daily.
The cool thing about this, you can try new things and you get so supported by this group. If it's something you feel a little embarrassed about, like using an accent or something like that, this group just fully holds you and helps you do it even better. So I think the fact that, like Vanessa said, it takes you outside your comfort zone. You know what that means, right? Like outside of Texas, that it really works. You get to practice all the time being funny or being serious or whatever you want with a bunch of loving, caring, supportive people.
I love that we can keep exceeding your expectations, Annie.
Yeah.
All right. Any other shares as we wrap? Yes,
Real
Bobby.
quick, I just wanted to say, and if you're thinking, oh my God, my life is already so full, I have so much going on, how in the hell am I ever going to fit something else into my life? Just understand that this was also designed to be flexible. Listen, I'm very active in the corporate world. I love this group. I would love to be here much more often. My schedule doesn't always allow that. Today didn't allow me to be here. I had a webinar that was going on, but as soon as it ended, I came to the group. I don't know if I made a difference today or not, but it made a difference for me. And that's really kind of all I care about. I'm just going to be a little bit selfish right now and say that I feel empowered and I feel lighter. And Chris talked about wanting to have fun, right? He actually was candid and shared with us recently about a speaking experience that he was having, and he made it a little bit too heavy for himself. And I think he forgot about how important it is to have fun. And when he looked back on that experience, it was a lesson for him. So even if you're teaching, even if you're instructing, if you make yourself vulnerable the way that Chris does with us, then he gets to grow and we get to grow from his vulnerability. This is a place of growth. Give it whatever time you can, at whatever consistent level you can, but the biggest thing is to just show up whenever you can. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that, Bobby. I love it. Speaker Skills Plus is a place of fun, and I hope to make it fun for everyone here. If you've watched this video till now, you definitely should join us. If you're still here now, you should definitely play with us. And growing your speaking skills 10%, what could that be worth to you financially, emotionally, relationship-wise? It's the relationships in our life that make the biggest difference. I'll be friends with these wonderful, amazing human beings right here for the rest of my life. If you want to join us and play with us, you can join us for 1 day a week or more if you choose. depending on the level you come in at. It does cost a little bit of money, but not a lot. It's an investment. And I encourage you to come and play with us. Speaking Skills Plus, where growing your speaking skills is fun.
And dogs are welcome.
And dogs, well, exactly. Dogs,
And
welcome.
dogs are welcome.
Dogs are welcome. Kids are welcome. Just for us, just keep distractions to a bare minimum, but we can deal with those distractions in a positive way because they can actually become a gift. You know, I still strive to be like my golden retriever, Jasper, to be golden like him, to see the world like his eyes saw me, without judgment, without criticism, with pure love, pure acceptance. I want speakers, and I want for myself, I'm very much a work in progress, to have uncomparing confidence. Meaning I walk in a room and I'm not comparing myself to any others. I'm inspired by the amazingness of others, and I'm inspired by the amazingness in this room. Annie, Patricia, Bobby, Pamela, Jackie, Vanessa, and that wonderful, amazing animal behind Vanessa, Oliver.
Ollie.
They all inspire me. So I hope you've been inspired too. I hope you jump into your speaking and you don't have to work with me, work with some other amazing people as well, but grow your speaking skills. Let's make this world a better place together. Thank you so much.